واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا قالت أنى يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أك بغيا قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين ولنجعله آية للناس ورحمة منا وكان أمرا مقضيا فحملته فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا فأجاء المخاض إلى التي قالت يا ليتني مت قبل هذا وكنت نسيا منسيا فنادانا من تحتها ألا تحزني قد جعل ربك تحتك سريا وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا فكلي واشربي وقري عينا فكلي واشربي وقري عينا فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا فنادانا من واشربي وقري عينا فقولي واشربي وقري عينا فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا فأتت به قومها تحمله قالوا يا مريم لقد جئت شيئا فريا يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغيا فأشارت إليه قالوا كيف نكلم من كان في المهد صبيا قال إني عبد الله صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Can we get into the last salawat for the beautiful recitation? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Inshallah, I just want to give a proper introduction to our speaker. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to last night. We're blessed to have Sheikh Jafar Bibullah here with us. In 1994, he started his studies at Islamic Seminary of North America, Certificate of Islamic Studies. In 2001, he attended the Al-Mustafa International University for his bachelor's in theology and law. And in 2005, he attended Duke University for his master's in religious studies. He completed coursework towards his PhD before returning to Qom. And from 2013 to 2018, he attended Qom for Dars Kharij for jurisprudence, principles of jurisprudence and philosophy. He's currently the resident scholar at the Islamic Ahlul Bayt Association in Austin, Texas. Please let me invite him out with a loud salawat.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Again, for the well-being of the mu'mineen and mu'minat in this community, another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For the hastened reappearance of Imam al-Zaman, another salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم به نستعين. الحمد لله الذي جعل الحمد مفتاحا لذكره وسببا للمزيد من فضله ودليلا على آلائه وعظمته ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وآل محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين، أرواحنا له فدا. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولما بلغ أشده آتيناه حكما وعلما وكذلك نجزي المحسنين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, I give my condolences to you on the occasion that we are coming to commemorate, and tonight we will continue to remember Sayyidat Zainab salamullah alayha. According to one of the narrations that yesterday was her shahada, so we will continue to speak about this great personality. From our discussion yesterday, as we mentioned, that it is a bit of a continuation of what we began in the first 10 days of Muharram, our lectures, which discuss the status and the position of women in Islam. And particularly we focused on many of the women who were in the lives of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, and inshallah, as we said, you can go back and you can look at those lectures. But we're making a continuation from that. And basically what we stated, again, so because each night we have new faces, so we have to go back and explain a little bit of things so that there will be no disconnection between what we want to speak about today. We stated that a part of the mission of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was to elevate the status of women, to change the perspective in which individuals, and particularly at the time of Jahiliyyah, before the Prophet he delivered his revelation, and unfortunately sometimes that even exists today. So he was changing the mindset. This was a part of the Risalat of Rasulullah. One of the things that indicates upon this, again, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He placed in the Quran the question that the baby girls will ask on Yawm al-Qiyamah. فَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنبٍ قُتِلَتْ. This is one sign that this was a part of the Prophet's mission, to change this culture of treating women as if they were not human beings or if they had no value. Likewise, the Prophet's interaction with his daughter Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha, that in his lifetime we see that when some of the women, the new Muslims, when they came to ask the Prophet questions, he would often, or at times, he would direct them to ask Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha. Go ask Fatima. We also see in the example of Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha her teaching of Lady Fidda, who spoke only by Quran after the Shahadat of Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha. So this was a part of the mission of Rasulullah. This was a part of the mission also of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wasalam. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He stated, that there's no difference between male and female based on their gender, but rather, أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The ones of you, or those of you, whether male or female, who are more conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you are the best in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or in close proximity to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we understand this mission, or this aspect of the mission of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that aspect of the mission of Ahlul Bayt, I believe, as I said, that this will be something that a good platform whereby sometimes as Muslims, and We tend to follow different philosophies, and of course, one of those philosophies that has arisen in maybe around the 18th century or so. Some of it goes back to the 18th century, some 19th centuries. That is of feminism. And because it has risen up, and unfortunately, sometimes our youth, they tend to follow that. But if they understood that mission of Rasulullah, or this aspect of the mission of Rasulullah, we will see that the ideas and the concepts that about the status of women, the role of women in society, as is put forth by the Quran, as is put forth by the Prophet, as is put forth by the Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salatu wassalam, it is much more wholesome. It is something that is grounded in what? In the divine intellect. It is something that is grounded in, again, faith, the principles of faith. And so one of the issues that we dealt with yesterday was something that quite often is a very touchy point. And I'm not going to go through that discussion again. I think it was recorded. You can watch that. But whatever we concluded from yesterday, there were two things that we concluded, basically. One is that women and men within the Nahj al-Balagha, or the statements of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi afdalus salam, that they are, or can be, those individuals who are defective in their reasoning. Of course, most people, they put their finger on the statement of Amir al-Mu'mineen where he says, "An-nisa nawaqisul uqul." He says that women are defective in their reasoning. But then they overlooked the khutbah number 233 of Nahj al-Balagha, where Imam Ali, he points to an-nas. And if we're being very, as I said, if we're translating nas in a chauvinistic way, oh, nas means men. Then he says that those men are what? Naqisul aql. They're defective in reasoning. So that naqs in uqul, that defect in reasoning, doesn't have anything to do with gender. And most people, they try to say, oh, well, Imam Ali, he said this. Did he say it? Didn't he say it? So, oh, well, this hadith is not correct, or it's not correct. Yesterday we dealt with the understanding of that. One, and this is why we conclude that, no, according to what Imam Ali alayhi afdalus salam, he is stating, and what the Ahlul Bayt have stated in their totality, yes, men and women can be naqisul aql, defective in their reasoning. And where's that defect? As they have stated, that anyone who chooses and decides, because when we decide to do an action, it comes through reasoning. For some, we think, or we use our reasoning to make choices. And so if our reasoning has led us to a choice to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or to follow our own whim, this is why an individual is naqisul aql. He's defective in his reasoning, his or her reasoning. So this is what the meaning of naqisul aql is. And this is why also on the 11th, the dua on the 11th day of Ramadan, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma aslih li aqliyan naqis. So Allah, correct my defective reasoning. And this is, men and women recite this dua. So the defect in reasoning is not something that is based on gender, but it's based on, again, our choice to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We also spoke about the maqam of Lady Zainab salamullah alayha, that she is one that, again, as her title states, that she is aqila, meaning a woman who is intellectual. One who, again, uses proper reasoning. As we mentioned, that there were a few verses that Lady Zainab salamullah alayha, she used in the court of Yazid. And as we analyze some of that language in those verses that she used, two of those verses summing up the whole entire event of Karbala, that what happened in Karbala. Another verse we use, again, we're not going to go back to that, and you can watch the recording, but then there was another verse that Lady Zainab, she used. It was verse 10 of Surah Rum, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, ثُمَّ كَانَ عَاقِبَةَ الَّذِينَ أَسَاءُوا السُّوءَ أَنْ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَكَانُوا بِهَا يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. As we mentioned, that this verse, on one hand, it shows the depth of Sayyidah Zainab's knowledge of Quran. Why is this? I want to just explain. I says that, as I mentioned yesterday, that this particular verse, based on the qira'at, again, there are 7, you say qira'at, according to some, there are 10 different qira'at, meaning that variations of recitation doesn't change the meaning, or it doesn't change the wording of the Quran, but it may at sometimes change the understanding, but the understanding are all in line with one another. As we mentioned, that this verse, that if we give those different meanings, again, it shows the depth of Lady Zainab's knowledge. That why did she select this particular verse? That when she was in the court of Yazid to basically rebuke Yazid, or to guide Yazid, and she uses this after Yazid, he began to recite this poem whereby he was stating that, again, showing iftikhar, pride and proud, that he was pride, and saying that, oh, if my forefathers in Badr, if they were here to see what I have accomplished today. In other words, we know the Battle of Badr and what happened in the Battle of Badr. This is a battle in which the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the and the believers, they had victory over the mushrikeen. They had victory, and again, many of those individuals, they were killed. The mushrikeen, they were defeated. And those, again, if we look at the Bani Umayyah, many from the Bani Umayyah were also killed in the Battle of Badr. And then later on, part of the Bani Umayyah, they became Muslims. So he was saying that, oh, if my forefathers of Badr who were martyred, who were killed, if they saw what I've accomplished today, then they will be happy and they will be proud. So then Hazrat Zainab Salamun alayha, she stood, and this is one of the first verses that she used in her khutbah. But before I begin to give the different interpretations, or at least, and not really interpretations, I'll just mostly translate it, and it will give you the understanding of the different interpretations of this. But before I do so, I want to precede this by one of the statements of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi afdal salatu wasalam, whereby he talks about the person who is faqih, because Sayyidah Zainab Salamun alayha, she is aqila, which means not only an intellectual, she is faqiha, again, one who has deep knowledge. Faqih in the hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim wasalam doesn't mean jurist, someone who knows the law. But faqih means someone who has deep understanding of the deen, of religion. So Imam Ali, he says, what is the criterion of that individual? And we'll see that this applies also to Hazrat Zainab Salamun alayha. He says, al-faqih, haqq al-faqih. That person who is a faqih, or who truly has understanding of deen, man lam yuqannat an-nas min rahmatillah. So one condition is that person does not make a person despair from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, he says in the Quran about the believers, about those who are his servants, he says, Ya ibadiya alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim la taqnatu min rahmatillah. Inna Allaha yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a. That, oh, my servants who have transgressed themselves, who have sinned, who have done wrong. Don't despair of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. For surely Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will forgive all sins. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, the two of the greatest sifat or qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that He's what? Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. That His Rahmah, which some will say the Rahmatul Rahmaniyya, the first type of Rahmah, Ar-Rahman, encompasses all of creation, whether they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or whether they reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving life, giving sustenance for those who believe and even those who don't believe. Even those who reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is a type of rahmah, is a type of mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has Rahmatur Rahimiyyah. He has a specific mercy that only encompasses those individuals who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness, who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But those individuals who are faqih, who has depth of understanding, those individuals, when they present the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, they don't make anyone despair of Allah's mercy. And subhanAllah, this is why, again, when we see Imam Hussein alayhi wasallam on the day of Ashura, in the land of Karbala, and this is after all of his companions, his family has been martyred. What does he tell people? He says, listen, do you know who I am? He comes to these individuals who's murdered everyone. He says, you know who I am? And yes, I'm the son of Mustafa. I'm the son of Fatima. I am the son of Ali al-Murtada. He says, do you not know that if I make dua, my dua will be answered? They said, yes. He says, so why don't you leave everything? Just let me go. I'll return back to Medina. I won't do anything. And I'll make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He forgives you for all of this. You've killed everyone. I'll make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives you. And this is even after they recognize that, yes, Imam Hussein, if you make dua, Allah will answer it. But yet still they rejected this. So again, this is Imam Hussein alayhi wasallam bringing this message or displaying, again, his depth of knowledge of the Quran, his, again, displaying that mercy which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to spread upon His creation. So first of all, that person who's faqih does not make people despair of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. And again, that mercy is one of those things, as we mentioned, again, as part of one of the things that we concluded yesterday, that a person who wants to have kamilul aql, that their intellect is complete, then there are two things that they need. This is one thing I should have mentioned in the beginning. And that is not only knowledge, but also rahmah, mercy. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about Khidr, He says that he is what? Given Khidr, آتَيْنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِنْ عِنْدِنَا وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِنْ لَدُنَّا عِلْمًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is that being which, again, we state about Him, or the believers, they state about Him, as it says in Surah Al-Ghafir, رَبَّنَا وَسَعْتَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ رَحْمَةً وَعِلْمًا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has encompassed everything with His rahmah, His mercy, His compassion, and with His knowledge. So if we want to, again, leave from this realm of having defective intellect, we need knowledge and we need rahmah, compassion and knowledge. So anyway, so that faqih does not despair anyone of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. وَلَمْ يُؤْمِنْهُمْ مِنْ عَذَابِ اللَّهِ. And likewise, that faqih, the person who has a deep understanding of the religion, does not also tell a person who has transgressed the bounds that, oh, well, you're safe. So again, this may seem a little bit difficult, that, oh, well, we don't make them despair of Allah's mercy, but at the same time, we don't guarantee that they're safe. How is this? How is that accomplished? On one hand, it's showing that these are not two different things. You don't make them despair of Allah's mercy that, no, well, you can turn around. You can make tawbah. So don't despair of Allah's mercy, but at the same time, don't think that if you don't make tawbah, if you don't change your ways, that you are free from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's punishment. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He also says in the Quran, لَإِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. That if you disbelieve, if you reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's favors, if you reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then His punishment is severe. And this is sometimes what I term, there are certain people that they reach a point of no return. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says about them, سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتُهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Whether you warn them or you don't warn them, it's going to be the same. They're not going to change. So those individuals, yes, you don't give them aman. But at the same time, you don't make them despair. Listen, if you change, Allah's mercy is there. Allah's forgiveness is there. But if you don't change, then, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, His punishment is severe. So these are the qualities of a faqih, someone who has deep understanding of Islam, of the deen. So now the hadith is also long, but I'm not going to go into the other part of that hadith. So now let us go to that verse which Sayyidah Zainab salamullah alayha, she used, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He states, ثُمَّ كَانَ عَاقِبَةَ الَّذِينَ أَسَاءُوا السُّوءَ أَنْ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَكَانُوا بِهَا يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. Most or many of the translations of this particular verse, it takes this position that evil is the end of the evildoers. So what is the aqibah of those people who asa'u, who do evil? Their end is is evil. In other words, they will reap what they sow. Why will they reap what they sow? As it is said in the commentaries, and kadhabu, saying because. That the reason that they will reap what they sow, and the reason that their end is also evil, for the evil that they have done, is because they have belied the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They've rejected the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they have belittled these signs. They've mocked them. Kanu yastahzi'un. The other recitation, and so, for example, yes, Sayyidah Zainab, she's telling Yazid this, that look, you're taking pride that you've killed the Prophet's family, and that your family in Badr, they should be happy with this. So if you've done this wickedness and this evilness, the end of you will also be wicked. It will be evil. Another recitation of this particular verse could be, I'll say it in Arabic because I know some folks, they will get the Arabic. So the way it is written, ثُمَّ كَانَ عَاقِبَةَ الَّذِينَ. But there's another recitation. It says, ثُمَّ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ أَسَاءُوا السُّوءَ أَنْ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَكَانُوا بِهَا يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. So what is the difference? And how that should change, again, stay within the same meaning, but change the perspective or dynamics of this. If we read it that way, the understanding of this verse would be that the evildoers are those who insist in their evil ways and persist in their evil ways. They will end up, what? Belying the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the first one we said that the evildoers, their end is evil because they belied, because they rejected Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sign. But this way is stating that that individual who insists and persists on doing wickedness and evil, their end And this action will lead them to reject the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will lead them to what? Mock the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a very subtle difference. But that difference makes almost a world of a difference. In other words, if a person again does wrong, but they repent, this is on the second one, then that will not lead them to reject the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other one's almost a little bit definitive, that yes, that person who does wickedness, who does evil, their end is wickedness and evil. Why? Because they've already rejected. But this latter one said, no, well, only if they insist and persist on doing evil, then they will end up rejecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's signs. And this is perhaps why that Zainab salam Allah alayha, that even in that khutbah that she gave in the court of Yazid, she gives him even an element of hope. That you're taking pride that you killed the grandson of the Prophet, the family of the Prophet. Then she tells him, she says, Mahlan, mahlan, la tatish jahlan. She says, wait, Yazid, just hold off. Don't be hasty in your decision. Don't be irrational in what you're choosing. Think for a moment. And then this is when she used the second verse, the other verse, where she stated that لا تحسبن الذين كفروا إنما نملي لهم خير لأنفسهم. She says that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spared you for now, she says, don't forget, have you forgotten what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated? That that person who rejects Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that person should not, or rejects Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's signs, or rejects Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's favor, that person should not think that that moment of ease, or that moment in which, again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He did not take His revenge from you, He did not bring His punishment down upon you. Don't think for a moment that it's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is favoring you. Because if you've truly rejected what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has sent forth, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will give that punishment. And this moment in which you're not being punished, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is allowing you to increase in your sin, and the end result of that will be more sins and a greater punishment. Salawat. So the time is going very quickly. But one thing I want to kind of point out here, especially with the position that Zainab salamullah alayha, she has taken, and her stance against Yazid in the court of Yazid, it is a stance and a position, as we mentioned yesterday, that has both sides of what we can call divinely orientated intellect. That intellect, or that aql, or aql ilahi, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has given to His servants like Khidr. He has given to His servants like many of the prophets and A'imma alayhim wasalam. And that is a divinely oriented knowledge that has both wings, or both sides of the intellect. And that's rahmah and ilm. Mercy or compassion and knowledge. As we mentioned, that compassion alone or emotions alone is not enough, nor is just simply being completely rational. That, we're only going to follow rules. And this is one of the things that we see that among some feminist philosophers, they critique or criticize traditional social and political philosophy. And mostly I would say from a Western perspective. They said that the traditional social and political philosophy is just all about rules, or they say a kind of a justice perspective of things. They don't look at the relationships, which again they say that the womanist or the feminist philosophy, it takes a care perspective. And it is more orientated towards relations and responsibility. Again, I said their critique is based on a Western model of, political and social philosophy. Again, in Islam, however, as you mentioned, that it is based on, again, having knowledge and mercy, compassion. This is why the Prophet, he is sent rahmatan lil alameen. He is a mercy to mankind. And that rahmah is based in the emotion of love. As we mentioned, its foundation is love. Why is that? What is the hikmah behind that? And just very quickly, the wisdom behind that is because, as we all have perhaps heard before, the Hadith al-Qudsi, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, كُنْتُ كَنْزًا مَخْفِيًّا فَأَحْبَبْتُ أَنْ أُعْرَفْ فَخَلَقْتُ الْخَلْقَ لِأُعْرَفْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, I was a hidden treasure and I desired to be known. So I created creation. In other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the foundation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creating everything in this universe is based on love. And this is why that individual who has a divinely inclined intellect, he has rahmah and ilm. This is why we see that Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam in Karbala, on one hand, he was willing that even after they martyred everyone, he says, I'll make dua that Allah forgives you. Because his objective, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's objective, he wants to show mercy to his creation. This is why also in, subhanAllah, one of the explanations of Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam, that when his father, he battled individuals on the plains of Karbala, he said that he didn't kill everyone that he came into contact with. Some, yes, he killed. Others, he only injured. Imam Zayn al-Abidin, he says, this shows the depth of my father's wilaya. He says, why? He says, because those individuals that he injured and he did not kill, he says, he knew that in the loins of this person, in the lineage of this person, there will be someone who will be among the lovers of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli Muhammad wa Muhammad Muhammad. He says, so they were spared. They were only injured. They were injured to the point that they could not get back up and to continue fighting. This is the depth of their knowledge. That shows love, it shows compassion, it shows understanding. But there comes a time and there comes a point where, as we mentioned, that some individuals, that no matter how much compassion you show them, no matter how much you reason with them, they still reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's favor. Those individuals reach to a point of no return. And this is something that Zainab salamullah alayha, she understood in the court of Yazid as well. And perhaps why she made her dua in the court of Yazid, Allahumma khudh bihaqqina wantaqim mimman zalamana. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to honor our rights, khudh bihaqqina, and take revenge upon those individuals who have oppressed us. Wahlul ghadabak ala man safaka dima'ana wa qatala humatana. And oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, show your dislike and disdain for those individuals who have, again, spilled our blood, and those individuals who have, again, killed those pillars that we've had, those pillars of support. Meaning that she understood that these individuals who are in the court of Yazid, again, they are reached to a point of no return. no matter how much reasoning you make with them, no matter how much compassion you may show to them, they're not going to change. And this is why Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha, that when she returned back to Medina, she continued to speak about the atrocities of Karbala. She continued to mourn for Imam Hussein and the Shuhada of Karbala, even according to some of the historical accounts, that as opposition they began to rise against the Umayyads, some have stated that Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha, again simply from her speaking about what happened, the atrocities that happened, and almost as if she was giving her support for, again, that revenge that was being taken upon the Umayyads, Yazid had sent a letter to the Hakim of Medina to exile Zainab Salamullah alayha, to remove her from Medina. And subhanAllah, this is, and just to give you one example, even one modern example of this, that shows the role of women in Islam. And this is when Saddam, he martyred Shaheed al-Sadr, Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr. Almost immediately after that, who did he kill? He killed Bint al-Huda, his sister. And in one interview, Saddam, he was asked, he was like, okay, Shaheed al-Sadr, he's a scholar, he was revolutionary, you killed him, but why did you kill his sister? The response of Saddam, he says that I killed her because I didn't want her to do to me what Zainab did to Bani Umayyah. SubhanAllah. This is the example that Zainab Salamullah alayha, she set. Zainab, who was exiled, and she was in Syria, in an area which now we call Az-Zainabiyya. I said one day as she was sitting and resting upon a tree, some of the mu'mineen, some of the mu'minat, they were there, they saw Zainab, and she began to weep, she began to cry. And the mu'minat, they asked Zainab Salamullah alayha, she says, why are you crying? She says that I am remembering that on the journey, after the martyrs, they fell in Karbala. After the atrocities of Ashura, when we were being ushered from place to place, from city to city, from Kufa, then later to Damascus. So there were places in which we stopped, and those places, some of the places in which we stopped, that the head of Imam Hussein, my brother, it was being hung from a tree. They had it in a cycle, they would hang his head from a tree. So as I'm sitting here, she says, this reminded me of those moments. She sat and she began to tell part of the events that happened on the day of Ashura. She says that I remember that when my brother, he was alone, when Imam Hussein was alone on the plains of Karbala, and his body was full of arrows, he cried out to the people, he looked towards them. He said, أُقْتَلُوا وَأَنَا بَنُو مُحَمَّدٍ الْمُصْطَفَى. He says, do you kill me and I am the grandson of Muhammad al-Mustafa? أُقْتَلُوا وَأَنَا بَنُو فَاطِمَةِ الزَّهْرَى. He says, will you kill me and I am the son of Fatima al-Zahra? أُقْتَلُوا وَأَنَا بَنُو عَلِيٍّ الْمُرْتَضَى. He says, do you kill me and I am the son of Ali al-Murtada? He says, Ya qawm ansibuni man ana. He says, oh people, to tell me who am I, that from what family am I, and tell me that if you know what family I am from, هل يحل لكم قتلي وانتهاك حرمتي. That tell me that is it permissible for you to kill me, to take my life, and to destroy the ease and comfort of my women folk? Zainab Salamullah alayha, as she was recalling this moment in Karbala, she says that as my brother, he was making this statement, I was looking towards my brother and I was saying to him, أنت الحسين. Are you Hussein? أنت الحسين ابن محمد المصطفى. Are you Hussein, the grandson of Rasulullah? أنت الحسين ابن فاطمة الزهراء. Are you Hussein, the son of Fatima الزهراء? أنت الحسين ابن علي المرتضى. Are you Hussein, the son of Ali al-Murtada? Some of the speakers have said that she made this statement saying that, is this my Hussein? That when she saw all of the arrows in the bodies of Imam Hussein, when she saw that he is full of blood, can this be Hussein, the son of Mustafa, the son of Fatima al-Zahra, the son of Ali al-Murtada, who has been treated this way? أنت حسين نور عيني. Is this Hussein, the light of my eye? أنت الحسين حماتنا. Are you Hussein, our pillar and our help? This was Hussein being martyred on the plains of Karbala. They said that when Zainab Salamullah alayha, she was making this statement, at one point when she fainted under that tree, that as she was fainted, the people, they came to her, the women, they came to Zainab Salamullah alayha. They shook Zainab Salamullah alayha to see if she would wake up. They put water on the face of Zainab, but Zainab, she was no longer with them. Zainab intaqalat ila rahmatillah. She had returned back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Assalamu alayki ya sayyidati wa ibnat sayyidi. Assalamu alayki ayyuha sayyidatu az-zakiyya الطاهرة الولية والداعية إلى الله. إن لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. اللهم بحق هذا المجلس الزينبي اغفر ذنوبنا واستر عيوبنا واقضي حوائجنا واشفي مرضانا بحق محمد وآله الطاهرين. Matim Hussein.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein. Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein. After the bloodshed and after the worst, after her sons would lay cut up in thirst, after they dragged her without all her clothes, for months in a prison her husband now knows. Oh my dear wife, you were so young, your hair is now white. Husband of mine, your Zainab has seen the worst day in sight. We are the Prophet's own family and blood, the ship of salvation when lost in the flood. Our doorsteps were opened by you beggars the most. Is this how you treat us, the heavenly host? If you will leave and want to do wrong, then we are the ones. Leave us till death, but Hassan and he are Prophet's own sons. Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein. Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein. Out of the tents came the son of Hussein, who looked like the Prophet and bore Ali's name. He fought off the throngs with Hashemi sword, defending his mother, his father, his Lord. The youth was brought down, the truth was brought down, and falsehood fulfilled. And from afar it looked like to us the Prophet was killed. Here is Hussein with an infant in arm. The hands of a father protect him from harm, from thirst and from hunger, the cold and from heat. He lays down his baby by enemy feet. This is my son, please for a child's thirst have respect. How can I say the arrow that pierced your white baby's neck? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein. Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein. Riding on horseback to make his last stand, Abbas came bravely with water in hand. Soldiers surrounded him and soon he would fall. Stabbing and butchering, we saw it all. With tears in his eyes, for his Abbas, the Sayyid came there. Oh my Mawla, if I had more would I spare. Ali told Hussein is your jewel. You are to him as I was to Rasul. So as a boy he would cling to his side, prepare for the day when his life he'd provide. Ammu Abbas, we are in thirst, dying of need. Please, O Abbas, the water's so close, O our Shaheed. Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein. Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein. Hussein had awoke from a dream of Ali, the Prophet, our mother, they all came to me. And with them was Hassan as bright as the moon. They smiled and they told me I'd be with them soon. Why do you cry? Please wipe your tears, Zainab of mine. Soon will I be back in the arms of the divine. In the hot sand as the sun neared, my brother lay bloody as Shimmer appeared. Oh Shimmer, don't you know who's lying here? He sat on the chest and grabbed Hussein's beard. In spite of thirst, in spite of God, he cut off his head. Today is the day my mother has died and Ali is dead. Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Zainab's in Karbala crying in pain. Oh my dear brother, where are you, Hussein? Oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein, oh my Hussein.
صلى على محمد وعلى آله. اللهم صل على محمد. أزور سيدي ومولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أصالة عن نفسي ونيابة عن والدي ومن قلدني بالزيارة. السلام عليك يا وارثة صفوة الله، السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله، السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله، السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله، السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله، السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله.